The waters of the Yamuna flowed quietly through the land. Day after day, a young boatwoman carried travelers from one shore to another. She was Satyavati. Raised among fishermen, the river had become her world. One day, as she waited by the river bank, a traveler approached her. He was no ordinary man. He was a seer whose wisdom was known across the land, Parāśara. Satyavati welcomed the sage, and they began the journey. As the boat drifted farther from the shore, Parāśara found himself drawn to the young woman. Desire arose within him, and he asked Satyavati to unite with him. His words left her stunned. Satyavati refused. They were alone in the middle of the river, yet the world was not far away. People could see them from the river banks. She was unmarried. Her honor would be questioned. And she spoke of the fish-like odor that had followed her since birth. Parāśara, with his divine power, covered the boat in a dense mist. Within moments, the waters vanished behind a white veil. The riverbanks disappeared. No one could see them. No one could reach them. Then the sage granted Satyavati a boon. The odor that had followed her since childhood vanished forever. In its place arose a divine fragrance, a fragrance that could travel for miles. From that day onward, she came to be known as Yojanagandha, the one whose fragrance spread across great distances. Parāśara granted her another boon. Though she would bear a child, her honor would remain untouched before the world. Guided by the sage, they reached a small island hidden within the river. There, a child was born. Parāśara bathed in the Yamuna and departed to continue his journey and perform penance. This was no ordinary child. Soon after his birth, the child began to grow and became a young boy. Born upon an island and dark in complexion, he came to be known as Krishna Dvaipayana. The world would later know him by another name. His path lay elsewhere. Before departing, he gave his mother a promise. Whenever you remember me, I shall come. The boy who left that day would one day divide the Vedas, preserve ancient knowledge, and compose the Mahabharata. Maharishi Vedavyāsa. Years passed after Ganga disappeared with the 8th child. The kingdom of Hastinapura continued to prosper under King Śantanu, yet the memory of his son never left him. The child whom Ganga had carried away, and no word of him had ever reached the king. One day, while wandering along the banks of the Ganga, Śantanu witnessed a remarkable sight. Near the water stood a young warrior of extraordinary appearance. Calm and focused, the youth displayed a mastery of arms unlike anything Śantanu had ever seen. The king watched in astonishment. The young warrior moved with perfect discipline and confidence. Every action revealed years of training and knowledge far beyond his age. Before Śantanu could approach him, Ganga appeared. Śantanu was taken aback. After many years, the river goddess had returned. She revealed that the young warrior was the son she had taken away. She had raised him and entrusted his education to the greatest teachers of the age. He had mastered the scriptures, the duties of kings, the science of weapons, and the principles of righteous rule. Having completed his education, he was now ready to return to his father. For the first time in many years, the father and son stood together. Śantanu embraced him with joy. His son had returned. The prince was Devavrata. After entrusting Devavrata to his father, Ganga departed once more, this time leaving him prepared for the responsibilities that awaited him. The prince soon became the pride of Hastinapura. The people admired his wisdom, his discipline, and his sense of justice. Warriors respected his skills. Elders praised his judgment. Ministers saw in him the future strength of the kingdom. Recognizing his worth, Śantanu formally declared Devavrata the heir of the Kuru throne. Years passed. One day, while hunting near the river, Śantanu became aware of an extraordinary fragrance carried by the wind. The scent spread across the forest and seemed to linger everywhere around him. Following it, he arrived at the river bank. There he saw a woman guiding a boat across the Ganga. She was Satyavati, the daughter of the fisherman chief. The fragrance came from her. Śantanu approached and spoke with her. He was impressed not only by her beauty but also by her dignity and composure. Śantanu visited the settlement of the fisherman chief and formally asked for Satyavati's hand in marriage. The chief knew the honor that such a proposal would bring to his daughter, yet he also knew that Hastinapura already had an heir. If Satyavati were to become the queen, he wished for the sons born from her to inherit the throne of Hastinapura. Unable to agree to the condition, Śantanu returned to the palace. Devavrata had already been established as the heir. To remove him from that position would be unjust. A quiet sadness settled upon him. Devavrata noticed the change. Concerned for his father, he sought the reason and learned of Satyavati and the conditions imposed by her father. Without informing Śantanu, Devavrata travelled to the fisherman's settlement. Standing before the fisherman chief, he declared that he renounced all claim to the throne of Hastinapura. Yet another concern remained. Even if Devavrata surrendered the throne, what would prevent his future sons from claiming it one day? The question brought silence to the gathering. Devavrata understood the concern immediately. Then he made a declaration that astonished everyone present. He vowed that he would never marry, that he would remain celibate for the rest of his life. No child born from him would ever exist to challenge the descendants of Satyavati. A prince had renounced not only a kingdom but also his entire future. The vow was so severe, so extraordinary, and so dreadful in its commitment that all who heard it were overwhelmed. The people could hardly believe what they had heard. From that day onward, Devavrata became known as Bhishma, the man of the terrible vow. When the news of the sacrifice reached Śantanu, the king was overcome with emotion. His son had surrendered everything for his father's happiness. Śantanu embraced him and granted him a rare boon. Death would come to Bhishma only when Bhishma himself chose the moment. No enemy, no weapon, and no passing of time would take his life before he willed it. Thus, the path was opened for Śantanu's marriage to Satyavati, and Devavrata, now known as Bhishma, became one of the greatest figures in the history of Kuru Dynasty.